Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out the Unreal Engine 5 Medieval Village Megapack from the marketplace. This is a brand new asset pack that just released from the marketplace about a week ago. Meshingun Studios actually reached out to me and sent me this pack to review for you guys. And just to be transparent with you guys, they haven't paid me in any way to promote this pack. They've just sent it to me to review. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Alright, so here we are in Unreal Engine 5, and I'm just going to list off a couple stats here about the pack on the left. It is called the Medieval Village Megapack from Meshingun Studio. The MSRP is $199.99. There are over 550 plus assets, and this supports versions of the Unreal Engine 4.24 through 4.27. And of course, Unreal Engine 5, which is what you're seeing right now. There's also documentation included, and we'll get to that at the end of this video, as well as a free playable demo in the description below. So without further ado, let's actually go ahead and play the demo map here as a character, and I can show you guys around the map. Alright, so here's our little character in here, and basically we have this nice little level that I can show you around. So this is the Medieval Village Megapack, and there are actually quite a bit of assets to go over. But the first thing that catches my eye when I saw this pack was, first of all, this landscape material. You can see the rocks there, the tessellation, as well as like the snow on the ground. And this pack actually has a full dynamic weather system, which I'll show in a second. But we'll actually run out here outside the castle or the village, and you see there's kind of this snowy forest area, and there's the outside of the castle, and we can run back in here as well. But yeah, there's lots of stuff to check out in here, and we can first run over here to this little market area. You see all sorts of grains and things like that. And then over here, all of the buildings, you can add interiors and things like that. And so this one has an interior. You can see the door we just opened has some physics to it. So if we go inside here, you can see there's props and things like that inside of the interior. Have a little bed over there. So you can obviously decorate these to whatever you want. And then I can give you a tour of the rest of the village here. So if we run over here, there's a little forge area. We have an anvil and some tools. And of course, you could use these tools for your character to make some sort of game. And there's another entryway in here. So there's more interiors. And then I can go ahead and show you the rest of the village. You can see there's a castle up in the distance up there. Really love the mountains. So let's go ahead and walk through the rest of this village here. Okay, we can walk around the corner, and it kind of leads us to this little courtyard area with a water fountain. And then through here we can go ahead and circle around to get back to the market area. And I can go ahead and as well exit the level and kind of give you a bird's eye view of the level. So let's go ahead and show you guys that. So if I zoom out of the level here, here's the top-down view, basically the playable area, as well as all of the trees, this little forest, and then you can see the background mountains up here in the distance. And that's pretty much the level. And so I actually want to show off the weather system. This is a really good map to showcase that, since with all of the objects as well as the snow. So I'm going to hit G here to unhide all my little tool tips here. So we can see here right off the bat, use the BP weather modifier in front of me to change the snow amount, rain wetness, and wind. So if we go ahead and, okay, so now with the BP weather modifier selected, we can change some of the weather settings. So if I go ahead and change this to dry, you can see we've removed all the snow and all the specular off of the objects on the ground. And it's a very dry scene. So you can see the rocks here on the ground and the grass. There's no snow on the mountains as well. And on top of that, we have a couple other presets as well. So if we scroll down here, you can see we have a wind preset. So we can turn off the wind. And you see that only really affects the trees. You have a slight wind and windy. These banners and the banners right here actually have a separate setting that you can tweak if you don't want them to simulate in the wind. So we have all those three options there. As well as the weather preset, we have snowing. So you can see here it's still sunny. And that's because we actually have to change the level preset as well. So to do that, you want to open up the window levels. And I've docked mine right over here. So here we can change the current preset here from sunny to overcast. So we have more of an overcast sky. And then we can change this from clear to snow. So, and we can also adjust here in our BP weather modifier how much snow that we want. So under the world material parameters, under the snow, we can adjust the snow amount on the buildings and as well as on the ground. So on the snow amount ground, we can increase this as well to have more snow on the ground like you see here. This snow top mask basically determines how much snow should be on the sides of an object versus the top. So you can see here how much snow I guess sticks to the sides of an object. So we don't want to play with that too much, but you guys get the point. And that is the snowing preset. We also have raining. And we can scroll down here and change the weather here to rain. And what you're going to notice is all the rain particles. So we're going to go ahead and make this full screen here. You can see here the rain coming from the sky, as well as if you zoom in on the puddles, you can see the individual raindrops on the puddles. Pretty neat. And one thing that I really like is the specular maps on all the rocks and the ground. Makes it look like the entire scene is wet. As well as all the objects. You can see here on the roof, these tiles, you can see the specular map. And if you look really closely, you can see kind of like the water sliding off the tiles. And even here on the brick, you can see that as well. So there's a lot of detail here just from changing a couple presets that this Megapack comes with. And like I said, I really like the ground texture here, especially the landscape material. And they did a really good job on this. And of course, if you want to change your wind setting, we can make it really windy. And if you really want to, you can go ahead and tweak the wind settings as well. If you want to up the speed, I'm just going to leave it at 4, what it was. And you're going to, of course, adjust the wind intensity on the grass as well, if you want to make things really windy. And so there's a lot of options here in your weather settings. And so that is the weather modifier. What we're going to go ahead and check out here is the demo level that has all the assets. And we're going to show off some of the other features and blueprints that this pack includes. So in our content drawer, we're going to go ahead and open up the overview level. Okay, and this is our overview level. So this shows all of the different meshes that come with the pack, as well as all the different blueprints that we can customize. And let me tell you, there's a lot of customization that comes with this pack. So first of all, I'm going to start over here from the right. We can move ourselves over from the right over to the left. So first of all, we got some foliage here. We got some pine trees, really nicely detailed trees here, 4 different types. Then we have some grass here. really nice. And then over here, some maple trees. So we have fall, winter, and spring. And then some older trees as well, with the different seasons. And then we just have a dead oak tree. Okay, over here we have the blueprint banner tool. So this is a super neat tool that comes with this pack. And basically, you might be wondering, what is a banner tool? Well, basically, if I go ahead and drag one of these wall pieces out, I can show you how this works. So I'll go ahead and I'll drag this up like so. And basically, you can take this little banner tool and rotate it. So if we rotate it up, you're going to see it automatically does a line trace from wherever I position this banner. So I can even take this wall and move it over like that. And then take this little banner tool and rotate it over. Rotate it down. And you're going to see it automatically bridges the gap and creates this nice little spline from these individual walls. This banner tool is 100% customizable as well. And in fact, let me get you a better example of this. So if I just browse the asset, I'm just going to go demo this over at some of the buildings over here, so you guys get a really good idea of how this works. So if I just click on the banner tool and drag it into level, I can rotate it like so. And you can see here it automatically creates that spline between the two buildings like so. I can move it around, rotate it and adjust it. And then this blueprint here has a lot of customization options. So in the bottom right here, we can adjust things like the type of flag that we have. So for example, we're going to go ahead and customize that. Under the flag variant, we're going to only have triangle flags. And then under the color, we can go ahead and customize the tints. We can adjust this to a red color like so. And we can adjust the other color to blue like so. And maybe we want to also adjust the wind settings. So perhaps we want a more subtle speed. So we can crank this down since it's a really short line. It's not as windy. Of course, you can adjust that to your liking. And then maybe we want to add another flag preset. So these square flags as well. And you can also adjust the spline weight. So if you want, say, more of a droop here, you can adjust that like so. And if you want it more, I guess, off-center, ununiform, you can do that as well. And then there is also the option to change this to hand adjust. So if I wanted to go in here and adjust the actual spline, you could manually adjust that to your liking. So there's a lot of different customization options that come with this banner tool. Like I said, it's a really helpful tool. You can just really easily drag and drop this into your level and just start customizing it, because it automatically creates a spline and it does everything that you need it to do. Really neat tool. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on. So like with all the other objects, we have a lot of customization. So here is a blueprint sign. So you can add your own text to the sign. If we scroll up here, you can see we have a couple different presets. So right here we can change this to blacksmith, carpenter, fishery, inn, mason, whatnot. You can actually choose your own sign text. And what I mean by that is if I go into the asset here, browse to asset, you see here we have this enumeration, signboard text. You can add your own presets here. So you can add a new one. And if you didn't want some of these things like the fishery and the inn, you can always change that to your liking. So we also have here the blueprint doors that I showed earlier. So we have the physics interactable door that you can open just with your character. Then we have some of the market, I guess the cloths that you put all the fruits and things on. Then here, something a little neat here is the candles and the torches. If you actually click on the candles here, you can turn them from burning to off, which I thought was a neat little thing. So we can turn these all off. So it was nice to have these little details in this pack as well. Just all the little details that make the pack. So we have a couple different torches and things like that. Then here we have some of the banners. You can see this banner here is simulating in the wind. And this one here is just standing still. And of course, in the material parameters, we can change the colors, the tint colors. We can change the color. Can make this a red banner, red on blue. Whatever color you want, red on gold maybe, something like that. And these banners as well. We can adjust the 2 color patterns, like so. And then we have these potteries, these pots, things like that. You can adjust the color of those, as well as these shields here. We can change these colors. So we want a red on blue. And then this bed here, we can adjust the color of the bed. Maybe we want to look more like a bed from Minecraft, I don't know, something like that. Then we have a fountain here. You can adjust the color of the water. Okay, before I get too left here, I want to showcase the building generator. So we have these modifiable houses, and they also come with interiors as well. So I'm going to show you the blueprint here. On the right here, we have a lot of different options to customize this house. So here we can go down to a wall, and you can actually choose a wall type. So we can choose cobble, stone, stone rough, and brick. And then from there, you can have a wall border. So if you look on the sides here, we can change it to cobble or to none. So leave this as cobble. I think that looks pretty good. Then the wall border type, you can change the static meshes if you want to. And then for the glass here, you can choose a couple different options. So we have the opaque, the translucent. So translucent, we can see through the building. And then opaque here, we can't see through. And then we can add emissive glass. And what that adds here is it looks like there's a light from the inside here. And if you have the proper lighting in your scene, it'll add that nice emissive light. That looks really well within Unreal Engine 5. Choose to add our cobble foundation and then the interior. If you want to remove the interior and the props, so it's just a background building, you can do that. But if you want to include the interior, we can do that as well. And you can also add props to populate the inside of the building. Now, one of the cool things I want to check out here is actually the seed here. So we can adjust the seed, and you can see it changes kind of like the window styles here. So you can see just by changing the seed, we can adjust some of the look of the building. And then once you get the general idea of what you want the building to look like, you can hit this bake structure. And what that bake structure button does is it converts the structure from a blueprint to all of these static meshes. So that's built into this whole blueprint that they've made here for this pack. And what that actually allows, it creates all of the meshes here into static meshes, which is really recommended and preferred for performance reasons, obviously. And it also makes it so that it converts it from the blueprint, the customizable blueprint that we're using, completely down to the static mesh, which you can actually group together and start baking out LODs. Or in this case, I guess with Nanite, you could enable that so that you can squeeze more performance out of here in Unreal Engine 5. So yeah, that's the building generator tool. You can see here there's a couple different building types that you can play around with. So like a tower, like this little cottage. So a couple different options here, and there's obviously some more buildings here in the back that we'll get to here in a second. All right, next up I want to check out this character here, and this is an NPC / playable character. So here are the different clothing outfits, and this is rigged to the epic skeleton. And so you can see here it comes here as a playable character, and we'll run around with this character here in a second. But you can see here there's a couple different variants that you can pick from, and you can as well modify the material colors on the character to your liking. So there's the character's hair as well. And yeah, so let's go ahead and move on over here. So you can see there's a Prefab Baker. Basically, if you want to modify the prefabs further, you can use the BP Prefab Baker to convert the prefabs into separate static mesh actors. Basically, like I was mentioning before, obviously it helps the performance if you bake everything into a static mesh from the blueprint actor that comes included with this pack. So here you can see we have a couple different presets for pots on these shelves, as well as some barrels on here. And then over here we have some of the beds, some dressers, a couple haystacks here, a well. Then we have a bunch of various wooden pieces, a couple of wooden carts here, really nice models, some of the wheels. Then over here in the back we have some of the fountains, some benches here. And then here are some other props. We have this nice little log here, and then a bunch of different baskets with grains as well as some fruits. Okay, we have some various glasses here, some pots, some glasses, some vases. And here in the back we have all sorts of sacks of grains, looks like fish, potatoes, all sorts of things here. Then various fruits, apples, carrots, oranges, bananas. And before I get too ahead of myself here, we will go back over here. But you can see here we have some of the individual fruits here. So some oranges, carrots, some fish, bread and cabbages. And like I said, I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. I know I'm kind of jumping around the place. But here we have some of the presetted market props. So we can see here we have a wagon with some hay bales, wagon with some of the various grains and fruits and fish, some of the grains and apples. So just a lot of different presetted, pre-made meshes here that you can really easily drop into your scene. So some more of the prefabs here. We have a table and a bench with various objects here, some plates, some baskets. So just really nice presetted objects here and props that we get with the pack. So over here, these are some of the market stands where you can put an NPC right behind there. And over here, really like this one as well because you got all the different types of fruits here. Okay, and then we have all the different types of grains here at this stand. So from there we have, again, all the different stacks of goods. So all the different fruits. Then we have some logs here. And then some of the different weapons that the pack includes. So you can see here we have 2 different longbows, sword, an axe, some shields, some spears, and actually it comes with some crossbows. Pretty nice. So back here we have some of the dining ware. So you can see here we have some of the cups, wooden cups as well, little cutting board, some forks and spoons, and yeah. Then we have some of these stones, some of the rocks that you see on the ground, some of the cobblestone walls. And here are the torches and lanterns and stuff like that. So you could probably add this as like a torch that your character can hold. Then another one of the little market tents. Some wooden pieces here and there. And here we have like the blacksmith stuff, like the anvil. Really nice anvil, honestly, with like all the detail. And here are all the weapons again. Some of the shields, different patterns on there. Then we have all the different banners and some barrels down here. Okay, and then we have this really nice bell model. Alright, in the back here we have all the different modular pieces that comes with the pack. So you can see here we have some of the modular walls, as well as some of the roof tiles and pieces. And then over here we have all the different windows pieces. See all the different window types. Some more wall pieces here. And then in the back here we have some prefab pieces, so like some archways. Then we have some bridges here, I guess. More archways, and these ones have like little corridors that you can go through. So really nice that they included all these with the pack. And then over here we have some staircases. Then we have this tower piece that you can put the bell in here. Okay, and then we have this little side roof that you can place at the side of a building. Some tower pieces here, and these have their little interiors. So some more of these little buildings have interiors as well. And of course you could decorate these and have all sorts of stuff, customize it to your liking. And so yeah, these are all the prefab buildings. A lot of different stuff here. And then down here we have all the different ground pieces and tiles. So we have some of the wooden floors, the materials there. Really like this ground material here. Cobblestone. And then here we have sort of like the stone that you see in the center of the city or the center of the village. And that's basically all of the assets. Now here is again the weather modifier, and one thing that I actually missed here is you can actually drag and drop this thunder BP, and it adds basically thunder and lightning to your level. So I think that's a nice little addition there. So here we are in the demo level, and actually we're going to go ahead and actually play as the custom character that they have included. So if we go into character here, blueprint, we're just going to pick one of these, go in the world settings, and we'll just do third person game mode and go ahead and assign that character. So if we hit play here, we should be able to play as the character that comes included with this pack. Yeah, so there we go. We can run around. You can see here it has the basic epic mannequin animations. So obviously you'd probably want to add your own animations to the character. And one thing that I mentioned at the beginning of this video was that there is documentation included, and it's actually really well detailed here. You can see here we have the table of contents, and really goes into detail. I mean, even discusses and explains kind of like the master material that they have set up to all of their assets. I honestly appreciate all the work that they put into the documentation. I mean, for me personally, it's always like a struggle to learn someone else's proprietary blueprints or systems, especially like the material nodes. So like I said, a lot of effort put into the documentation here, and you guys can actually, if you're interested, check this out by just going to the marketplace page here. I'll link it in the description below. Now it also includes this Rainy Village demo. So if you want to download that and play it on your computer and see how your computer performs, basically you can go to the marketplace page again and just click download the playable demo here, which is obviously free and it's 1.6 gig download. So if you guys want to actually play test the level and see how well it performs on your PC and maybe check out the graphics and things like that, see if this is something worth purchasing, go ahead and download the free demo. And yeah, like I said, this is a really cool pack from Meshingun Studio. They put a lot of effort into it. And maybe we'll try and make some sort of speed level design with all these assets. I don't know. Let me know what you guys want to see me do with this in the comments down below. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like button and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.